What did he tell the 911 operator?
That his wife was motionless and he was doing CPR and needed medical assistance.
I'm trying to do CPR. I can't.
Okay, listen to me.
Police believe that there was more to this story than what they had been told initially.
This woman very likely had been murdered.
As a detective, you're always looking for the reason why something occurred, a motive.
What did finding that evidence mean to the investigation?
It was the smoking gun. It was an exciting moment because I felt like we had him.
Hi, I'm Nancy O'Dell. Today's Crime Exposé takes us to Orlando, Florida, and an upscale neighborhood known as Delaney Park. The family-friendly community was rocked to its core when a woman named Shanti Cooper-Tranez was discovered dead by her husband. The case took investigators through a series of twists and turns that ultimately led to a chilling conclusion. It was late in the afternoon on Tuesday, April 24th, when Orlando police received a hysterical phone call from a man named David Tranez.
Hello?
She stopped breathing and trying to do CPR. I can't.
Okay, listen to me.
David told the operator he had discovered his wife Shanti unconscious and partially submerged in the bathtub of their garage apartment. He was still on the phone with 911 when first responders arrived.
Okay, and who is this?
This is David John.
As emergency crews approached 39-year-old Shanti, it was clear she was already gone. And to one of the officers on the scene, it was also clear that this was no accident.
She appeared to have significant facial trauma and a variety of injuries to her arms and knees, which indicated to him this woman very likely had been murdered.
Homicide detective Teresa Sprague and her partner were assigned the case. They wanted to interview David Tranez, but first needed to view the scene for themselves.
When we actually arrived at the home, Mr. Tranez had already voluntarily, with an officer, came to the station and was waiting for us in an interview room.
Just have a seat there. It'll be a little bit.
Not sure whether or not David was involved in Shanti's death, the detective had her colleagues begin to collect evidence from him.
Requested Detective Montford and CSI Kane respond to that interview room to get his information and to take his clothing and to get pictures of him, and if he would allow a buccal swab of his mouth, photographs, and to clip his fingernails.
David was cooperative and did whatever they asked. And did investigators find any bruises or scratches on his body?
Mr. Tranez did not have any defensive wounds on his body or hands or anything to indicate that he was in a fight.
While that was going on, Detective Sprague asked the medical examiner to come to the scene. And not only did she see the bruising the officer had observed, she noticed something else on Shanti's body.
I noted on her neck abrasions and red marks that it would be significant with strangulation.
To confirm, the medical examiner opened Shanti's eyes. She had red marks inside the whites, which was a clear sign that the detective was right. There was no doubt Shanti Cooper-Tranez had been murdered.
The official cause of death was blunt force trauma and strangulation.
Investigators now knew how she died, but weren't sure who would want to hurt her. Everyone seemed to love Shanti. She owned a successful financial consulting business and was a mother to an 8-year-old son from a previous marriage. Detectives had no choice but to start with her husband, David, since he was the one who found her.
We know who she was with at the time she was found deceased, but not who was with her at the time of her death.
In the interview room, David said he last saw Shanti alive around 9 a.m. He said she told him she was going upstairs to make some calls for work, so he went to the park with the dogs.
When he arrived back home, that he continued on with some yard work and cleaned up around the house, but never saw Shanti.
Around 3:45, he started to wonder where she was, since it was time to pick her son up from school.
I went upstairs. I don't hear her talking on the phone, so I say hello. I don't hear anything back. I can hear water running. She's not saying anything. Doesn't seem right.
David said he then walked into the bathroom, and that's when he discovered her.
I see her laying with her head in the right-hand corner. The water is running, and it's just extremely awful.
He assumed Shanti was about to take a shower and fell. He said he never could have imagined someone had murdered her, and he insisted that someone was not him.
Police asked about their marriage, and Mr. Tronas said that their marriage was fine.
The couple had been together 5 years and married for 1. David told police he had given her a massive engagement ring, which he never took off. He said they were very much in love, but her first marriage was a different story.
Shanti had a lot of issues with her ex-husband while they were married.
And just as detectives were learning about Shanti's prior relationship, her ex-husband Jim Cooper suddenly showed up at the crime scene.
My immediate response to his interview was, he's still a suspect. I mean, he's not cleared.
As detectives were interviewing Shanti's current husband, David Tronas, her ex-husband appeared at her home asking questions.
I got a phone call from my sergeant, and he advised that Shanti's ex-husband, Jim Cooper, had shown up at the house with her son, Jackson.
Jim said he was trying to figure out why he had been called to pick up their son at school. He was asked to come downtown to answer some questions.
Right out of the gate, obviously he's visibly upset and he's angry, but we were attempting to find out where he was the last 24 hours, and it was difficult to get him to answer these questions.
Investigators then started asking him about the divorce, which they had learned was contentious.
She wasn't happy in the marriage. She wasn't happy with Jim, and he had discovered that she'd had an affair.
Jim wanted to give the marriage another chance, but Shanti was done. And did he admit to making the divorce difficult because he was angry?
He absolutely made the divorce difficult on her because he didn't want the divorce. I think he was very angry about the broken trust. He was very angry that he was losing his family.
The anger was still apparent as detectives spoke with him. He finally gave them an alibi, saying that he was at work all day.
My immediate response to his interview was, he's still a suspect. I mean, he's not cleared. Based on how he described the end of their marriage, as well as the contentious relationship between the two of them while raising their son, he was absolutely still a possibility.
Investigators knew they needed to verify his alibi. They went to Jim's workplace and spoke with his coworkers, and ultimately confirmed that he was telling the truth.
At that point, Jim was eliminated as a suspect since his alibi was corroborated by coworkers.
Back at the crime scene, police noticed that Shanti's engagement ring, which David mentioned to detectives, was nowhere to be found. With the couple's home under renovation and contractors in and out of the property, investigators wondered if robbery was a motive.
When you get upstairs, you see a multitude of electronics, expensive electronics. Her purse is right by the television. It's open. Next to her purse is a $20 bill on the television stand that is in plain view. None of the easy things that would have been targets were removed.
And there was more at the crime scene that just wasn't adding up. David said that he found Shanti in the bathtub and pulled her out to start CPR, but it didn't seem to match up with the evidence.
And the bathroom floor wasn't wet. The bathtub had dried, diluted blood up to a blood stain about 3/4 of the way full, but the shower walls weren't wet. The tub wasn't wet. The rug had been pushed up away from the tub toward the wall, but nothing was wet between the shower, the tub, the floor, the carpet, all the way to where she was.
Nothing made sense, and once again, investigators were forced to turn their attention back to David Tronis.
One of Shanti's friends had expressed to us that there was trouble in the marriage.
Detectives wanted to know everything they could about the relationship between David and Shanti. What they learned was that things weren't as great as David had made them sound.
One of Shanti's friends, Dana, had expressed to us that there was trouble in the marriage, that they had broken up at one point prior to moving into this home.
The couple reunited, and David bought the home in cash, putting the house in a trust for him and his mother.
He told Shanti, "This is just what my family has always done, and it's just a way to protect everything and protect all of us."
But Shanti wasn't happy with that answer, especially after they moved in, and David asked her to foot the bill for all the renovations.
David's handling of the renovation of their home turned out to be a disaster, hiring and firing contractors, all the while Shanti was paying for all of the renovations and incomplete work.
3 years after the project began, David, Shanti, and her son were still living in the garage apartment. She had spent $300,000 on renovations, and her name still wasn't on the deed to the home.
She had indicated many times she wanted her name on this house because she had a financial stake, a significant financial stake.
Friends told police that David had assured Shanti that he was taking care of everything. He became obsessed with a reality TV show called Zombie House Flipping and applied to be on the show. He was cast, but Shanti wanted no part of it, and tension between the couple grew.
Police interviewed Shanti's son and learned that the couple had been in arguments on a regular basis, and they were heated arguments.
So was stress from a home renovation project a motive for murder? Investigators decided to turn up the heat during their interview with David.
You know, you fake cried for about 7 or 8 hours today. Not one tear came out of your eyes, not one. Not one. Not on the scene with the officers, not in this room. There is not a lick of remorse for what you did to this woman. Not even a little bit, okay? I'm really starting to believe you wanted her dead, and I'm really starting to believe you planned it.
But David wouldn't admit to anything.
Mr. Tronis did not confess to murdering his wife, did not confess to harming her in any way, and stated repeatedly that he would never hurt her.
With no physical evidence tying him to Shanti's murder, investigators were forced to let David go free. As they continued digging for clues, Shanti's cell phone records provided some eye-opening information.
The cell phone forensics show us that phone is searching Facebook around 11:20 to 11:30 on Monday night, and then it's placed down on that nightstand. And that phone does not move until it's collected by police Tuesday night around 10:30.
David had told police he last saw Shanti Tuesday morning when she went to make work phone calls. But investigators now knew that her phone had never been used that morning.
On Tuesday morning at 6:58 in the morning, Shanti's cell phone gets a text message. That text message was never read, and it was from a business associate in North Carolina. I asked him, when did you expect her to read that text? And he said 7 o'clock. He said, she is so prompt. Within 2 minutes, I thought it was odd. He said within the hour, I thought something had happened to her.
Investigators were convinced that Shanti had been murdered on Monday night and that David was the one responsible.
The whole time frame that we believe when she was killed, he had already told us he was with her, and he was the only one with her.
But they still didn't understand why he would do it. And then they got a call that gave them that shocking answer.
Police received a tip that David had a membership to Club Orlando and might have been living a double life.
Club Orlando was a gay male gym in the area, and police learned David had been a member for 18 months.
He had been to the club as recently as the week before Shanti's murder, and the employee had indicated that he had seen sexual activity between David and men on at least 2 occasions inside the club.
Police wondered if Shanti had found out about his secret lifestyle and asked for a divorce. Detectives discovered there was a big financial aspect to that question. So what did David stand to gain from Shanti's death?
Over $1 million. With all of the combined accounts and the life insurance policy, it was over $1 million, and it might have been closer to $1.5 million with all of the interest that had accrued.
Investigators believed David realized that Shanti was more valuable to him dead than alive.
Is there a financial motive? Yes. If he were to get away with Shanti's murder, he's a millionaire. He still doesn't have to work, and he hadn't worked in 8 years. And he can fully renovate the home the way he wants and live the lifestyle he wants and probably never work again.
4 months after Shanti's murder, David Tranez was arrested and charged with first-degree murder. And investigators were about to make another big discovery.
It was the smoking gun. It was an exciting moment because I felt like we had him.
With David Tranez in jail awaiting trial, detectives continued to dig for anything else that would tie him to Shanti's murder. So you searched his mother's home. What did you find there?
The most shocking thing, or the thing we hoped that we would find in a suitcase on the floor in the room where David was living, was Shanti's engagement ring.
It was the item David had mentioned Shanti never took off her finger, and he felt police could never find it.
It was the smoking gun. It was an exciting moment because I felt like we had him. I felt like it was the biggest lie that he had probably indicated to us, was not knowing where that ring was and when he knew we were looking for it.
At trial, David still claimed his innocence, but a jury wasn't buying it.
We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of first-degree murder.
David Tranez was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Shanti's son, Jackson, gave a victim impact statement saying that his mom was the best person he ever knew.
My mom was the best person I ever knew. She worked a lot, but she never put her family over work.
And now, it's time for today's Safety Spotlight. Finances are often a source of tension in any marriage, but there are steps you can take to help protect yourself. A professional can help couples navigate the complexities of balancing your financial life. If your intuition tells you something is off with your spouse or spending patterns change, consider having separate savings and checking accounts from your spouse. By doing so, it could help you have the financial freedom to leave the marriage if necessary. If your relationship becomes contentious, or if you're ending the marriage, remove your spouse as a beneficiary on your life insurance and make them aware you have done so. This may help reduce any financial motive for violence. Intimate relationships must be built on trust, and if that trust is broken through lies, misrepresentation, or undisclosed financial moves, it may be time to leave the marriage to prevent something more sinister. I'm Nancy O'Dell. For all of us here at Crime Exposé, please join us next time and stay safe. A beloved real estate agent kidnapped on the job.
All of us realized Mom had been taken.
And a cryptic text message only heightened the mystery.
This relief really just turned to complete horror.
Did you think you could find her in enough time to save her life?
You gotta tell yourself, she's still alive, and you do everything you can.
I'm Nancy O'Dell. Today's Crime Exposé takes us to Scott, Arkansas, located just outside the capital of Little Rock. It was here, surrounded by rolling hills and beautiful lakes, that a successful real estate agent vanished without a trace. The shocking clues left behind at the scene ignited an intense investigation to find her and ramped up a wave of concerns over realtor safety. It was September the 24th, on a beautiful fall evening, when a call came into the police department from Carl Carter.
His wife did not come home after work.
Carl explained his wife Beverly was a successful real estate agent. At around 6 that evening, she had called to let him know a couple had contacted her about buying a home.
So she decided to go show the house since it was on her way home. So I think around 9, he started thinking, where is she at? She's not answering the phone.
He immediately called his son, Carl Jr.
I received a phone call kind of late into the evening from my dad, and he was concerned. He said, that he kind of explained that mom had been working late showing a property, but she wasn't responding to his phone calls and his text, and I could just hear the worry in his voice, and that was just odd to me because Dad's really not a worrier, because she had told him where she would be showing property that day. So I encouraged him to go over to that property, and I would drive over to my mom's real estate office, see if she was there, perhaps, with these clients writing a contract and usual real estate. And, my dad arrived upon this scene of this house.
He was shocked by what he saw.
It was a house that had been, sitting for a very long time. There was no utilities, but the front door was wide open. My mom's car was there. No sign of my mom. She was just gone and vanished. Something very, very odd was going on.
Investigators took the missing persons report seriously and searched the empty house for clues.
There was no blood. There was no, obvious signs of struggle. You could tell somebody had been in there, but you just didn't know exactly what had happened.
While CSI technicians dusted for prints, a disturbing clue was found outside.
I saw a tire track that looked like it had backed up to the front door.
More alarm bells were raised when detectives unlocked Beverly's car and found her purse still inside.
There's no way a woman is just going to leave her purse in a car. It's got her ID in it, her money, her credit cards.
And was there other evidence you found in the car?
A notebook. It looked like something that a realtor would have been writing. It had addresses of houses, showings.
While investigators combed through the notebook, they questioned Beverly's husband of 35 years, wondering if he had fabricated her missing persons report.
Really know what kind of marital issues they have, if they're having financial issues. But we know that he was the last one that we could prove that spoke with her. So we wanted to get him separated and get him to our office so we could start, digging into his background. Did he have a life insurance policy? Could that be a reason? If he wasn't involved, does he know who did? Did he pay somebody to do it?
But authorities couldn't poke any holes in his statement.
Typically, if somebody's got something to hide, they're going to lie to you left and right. And Carl came in and he spilled his guts about everything in their past without me even having to ask, really. He told everything.
So at first, did you feel like investigators thought your dad may have had something to do with your mom's disappearance?
Based upon, every crime show we had ever seen, that, you start by looking at those closest to the victim. So often that is the spouse. And yet words feel so empty where, I'm talking to detectives and I'm like, look, I know this looks bad, but don't waste any time investigating down that path because that will detract from what you should be investigating. So it was tough. Thankfully, they ruled Dad out as a suspect pretty quickly.
Beverly's vibrant spirit had always been the glue that kept the family together.
She was short in stature, but very, very big in personality. She had the biggest, brightest smile. She truly had such a warmth and a presence that filled a room.
As one of the top real estate agents in the state, Beverly always went above and beyond to find each client the home of their dreams.
Real estate is a tough industry, and she made it look easy. She loved it. She would talk to me about people that she had met through real estate transactions. It was beautiful to hear my mom talk about working with people She was just loving it and eating it up.
Then, within hours of Beverly's disappearance, her family felt a flash of relief when a text message came in.
Dad begins yelling that Mom was texting him. It said that she was out having drinks with friends. It was in that moment that this excitement, this relief, really just turned to complete horror. Even though it was terrifying to know that she had been taken, there was peace in knowing that she was close by.
"50-year-old Beverly Carter had vanished without a trace. As detectives, friends, and family looked for her, a text from Beverly's phone came through, which changed everything. So what was it about the text that was so shocking?
She doesn't drink, so that was a dead giveaway. There was no doubt that she had been abducted.
All of us realized that not only had Mom, been taken, but she had been taken by someone that was bold enough to grab her cell phone and to pretend to be her. I mean, there truly is something to that mindset where you're like, this could never happen to me, and certainly this could never happen to my sweet mom.
Detectives quickly pinpointed the location of her cell phone.
You could hear them working together to start the process of seeing, where her cell phone might have been used, which cell tower was it pinging, and I heard that it was pinging not far at all from where we were.
It sends out a ping, a signal about every 15 seconds to the nearest cell phone tower. And it will triangulate that GPS coordinate and it can pinpoint where that phone is at.
So that must have been a relief. You thought you found the location of the phone.
It stops just south of Little Rock at a commuter parking lot.
As investigators raced to the parking lot, it was painfully clear to Beverly's family that every second counted.
Even though it was terrifying to know that she had been taken, there was peace in knowing that she was close by. And seeing, all these detectives kind of rush to go see if they could find any sign of anything near the cell tower. And that did instill some hope. But then starts this, this whole process of who in the world has taken her and why. There's this clock in the back of my mind about the importance of finding a missing person within that first 24 hours. There is this panic associated with it, and you feel so helpless, and it was just wildly confusing and scary and surreal, worried about where she could be, hoping that she was safe and comfortable.
So did you think you could find her in enough time to save her life?
There was a great sense of urgency try to locate her. You got to tell yourself, she's still alive, and you do everything you can, as fast as you can.
Time just keeps going, and knowing that statistically the outcome was looking more and more grim.
"50-year-old real estate agent Beverly Carter had been abducted, and detectives were triangulating the last known location of her cell phone.
Last cell phone ping was south of Little Rock at a commuter lot. And I noticed that when I got there, the phone was off.
Whoever had taken Beverly had turned off her cell phone. Detectives could no longer track Beverly's location.
It's just kind of like or the wind coming out of your sail. It's just like, where do we go from here?
As the minutes ticked by, Beverly's family began to fear the worst.
Time just keeps going, and knowing that statistically the outcome was looking more and more grim.
Detectives located a neighbor who had seen another vehicle at the home with Beverly.
She said that she looked out her window and saw Beverly's car there, then saw a small black car there also. And originally it was pulled in beside Beverly's car facing the house. She said just maybe 15 minutes later, she looked back out and saw the car that was backed into the driveway up to the door, which is where the tire track would have came from that I saw.
The neighbor provided a detailed description of the person.
Slender white male with short brown hair got out and opened the trunk. She didn't really think anything strange of it. She said there's been people over there look at the house before, so unfortunately she didn't look back out, but it was pretty good information.
And after digging into all the names Beverly had written in her notebook, detectives believed they had zeroed in on the prospective buyers she had planned on meeting that evening.
Steve and Crystal Adams, and it gave a phone number.
Detectives hoped the phone number would be the key to saving Beverly's life.
Ended up being a spoof number, which a spoof number is a number that you can download an app and you get assigned a phone number.
So could you find the person who signed up for that phone number?
Well, in order to get this app, you have to have a legitimate phone number, legitimate name, address, everything. But we got the search warrant back pretty quick, and it revealed that the account was created by Crystal Lowry. We started digging into her and found out she was married to a guy named Aaron Lewis.
Detectives quickly rushed to the couple's home and observed a man who matched the witness's description walking outside towards his black car.
Slender, white male, short brown hair, matched the description. I knew right then, no doubt in my mind, he was the guy that took Beverly.
And as you approached him, what did he do?
He actually saw us, and then he jumped in his little black car and he fled. Actually ended up having an accident. He ended up had a busted face, his nose was bleeding.
With Aaron Lewis in custody, officers searched the couple's home, hoping to find Beverly, but she was nowhere to be found. They scoured the home for evidence.
And we found Beverly's phone inside their bedroom.
As detectives prepared for Lewis's interrogation, they took a close look at his background.
A career criminal. He'd been charged with several different crimes. He was a convicted felon. He'd been charged with a lot of thefts, a lot of burglaries.
He even admitted his crimes on social media. During questioning, at first, Lewis refused to talk. But when detectives turned up the pressure, Lewis finally revealed exactly how they had planned the abduction.
He said that he wanted a broker because he wanted to get somebody that was rich, and he Googled her, and she was the first person that came up. The reason they were going to kidnap her is to get ransom.
He said his wife, Crystal, was the one who called Beverly to set up the appointment.
Crystal had actually spoke with Beverly on the phone and assured her that she would be there that afternoon with Aaron because Beverly didn't want to go alone.
What did Aaron tell you had happened at the house?
Beverly showed up, asked about his wife, said, well, she had something come up, she couldn't make it. So they go into the house, and then he said he pulls out a flashlight taser that he has, he clicks it, he says, you're about to have a bad day. And he duct tapes her arms and her feet and puts duct tape over her mouth and takes her and puts her in the trunk.
He forced Beverly to record a ransom message they could send to her husband. They wanted Carl to provide the PIN code to Beverly's debit card. But their sinister plan quickly fell apart.
And they were going to go take her debit card and draw all the money out. It did not happen because when he kidnapped her and left the house, he left her wallet, left her purse that had her debit card in it. He had no way to draw money out, even if he had the PIN code.
So they decided to take Beverly to a concrete plant where Aaron once worked and murder her. Surveillance video picked up Aaron's image when he stopped at a store to buy a shovel.
He wrapped her head in duct tape, and she laid there and suffocated, and that was her cause of death. Crystal held the flashlight, and he dug a hole and put Beverly in it and covered her up.
It was a chilling confession.
I don't think you could get any more cold-blooded than this. Can't think of any worse way to die.
It was then Beverly's family heard the words no loved one should ever have to hear.
My mom was found by some very, very incredible detectives after several days of hard work. And news travels very, very fast. And news of my mom's body being found made its way to social media quicker than law enforcement could even make it to the family. I was fortunate. Some of my mom's real estate friends, they were awake in the middle of the night. They saw that on social media and they gathered and they rushed to my house. And so at around 4 a.m. they arrived at my doorstep, and I'll never forget one of my mom's very best friends saying that my mom had been found. And I remember just kind of getting myself together quickly because my next question to that agent was, which hospital? It just made sense to me that they would take her to a hospital to check her out, make sure that she was hydrated or, okay. And I remember saying, oh, honey, your mom's not alive. There's just the silence right after you receive news like that, and just complete disbelief, and really just more than anything, knowing what those last moments were like for her, and how afraid she must have been.
Their pain deepened even more when detectives found Beverly's ransom message that Aaron Lewis had recorded on his cell phone, but had never sent.
Carlos, Beverly, I just want to let you know I'm okay. I haven't been hurt. Just do what he says, and please don't call the police. If you call the police, it could be bad. I just want you to know I love you very much.
How did you feel when you heard your mother's voice?
It was devastating, such sadness.
Aaron Lewis was convicted of capital murder and sentenced to life in prison without parole. His former wife, Crystal Lowry, pled guilty and was sentenced to 30 years behind bars. Despite their convictions, nothing will ever replace Beverly's vibrant spirit that resonated with everybody who had the privilege to know her.
She was the one that kept our family together and pushed us to be a strong family and to do things together and to love one another. She really was the core piece of so many things. They took, for my kids, they took their favorite person. Of course, I lost my best friend. I miss her with all of my being, all of my heart.
After his mother's murder, Carl Carter Jr. turned his grief into action by launching the Beverly Carter Foundation, a nonprofit dedicated to the safety of real estate professionals who work alone. Carl's mission is to provide safety awareness, tips, and resources to ensure all agents make it home to their families. And now, it's time for today's Safety Spotlight. If you are a real estate professional or frequently work alone, there are some precautions you can take to reduce your risk and improve your safety. Vet new clients online or through a background check before meeting with them. Avoid meeting new clients alone. Instead, take a colleague or friend along, and always let someone else know where you're going. Avoid wearing expensive jewelry that may make you a target for robbery. Consider taking self-defense classes, or carry a personal safety device like pepper spray, a stun gun, or a personal alarm. And trust your gut. If you have a funny feeling about a client, don't meet with them. These steps may seem like a lot to close a deal, but they may just save your life. For more information, you can go to beverlycarterfoundation.org, a nonprofit organization started by Beverly's son, Carl, that provides research, information, consulting, training, and support to those in the real estate industry.